There again, folks. Your friendly neighborhood hatchet man, Brother Craig here. We've been having a lot of technical difficulty this morning, but we're back up and we're giving it a try. and and already I'm seeing some things happening in the video here. Hopefully, we have overcome the technical difficulties. The election Tuesday, the devil is busy. His minions that work at all these tech companies, they're very busy. But as you see, our title today is the way you would have voted. The way you will vote Tuesday is the way you would have voted 2,000 years ago. And 2,000 years ago, there was a very important election. Okay, you had innocent Jesus the Christ. Okay, and Pilate said, "This man is innocent. I find no fault in him." Okay, but he was doing all he could. Now, this is a Roman now. Okay, he's doing all he could. He felt like his hands were tied. He had pressure from Rome, he had pressure from the Jewish leadership. He had pressure. Okay, and so he's trying to find a way to let Jesus go, and through it to the people of the day, the leadership of the day. And so he says, well, look, the tradition says that it's Passover, and every Passover we release a prisoner. So here we have this Barabbas here. Now, Barabbas was I've read various things about Barabbas. He was a thief. He was a murderer. He was some people say he was a freedom fighter. Okay, he was fighting the Romans. Uh, you know, you could say he was, let's just be generous to Barabbas and say he was Antifa, he was Black Lives Matter. Okay, uh, trying to, he was raising hell, but let's say in his mind he was doing something to fight the powers that be. Regardless, the people had a voice. The people had an opportunity, and the people voted. Now, here in 2020, if you ask any Christian, okay, if you were 2,000 years ago when you had been given an opportunity to vote to release Jesus or Barabbas, you go to any church in America, any church, okay, an apostate church or a Bible-believing church, you go to any church, 100% of them would say, "Oh, I would have voted to release Jesus." So, what type of person casts their vote to condemn Jesus and release Barabbas? Well, in America in 2020, every year the Democrat Party starts out with 47, 48, sometimes 50% of the voting public already on their side. So all you have to do if you want to know what type of person, look around. Look around. Turn the news on. That's the type of person that would have done that. Visit some churches, particularly these black churches headed up by Reverend Chickenfoot. Okay, these pulpit pin-up Negro preachers that year after year after year deliver up their unthinking, uncritically minded congregations to the Democrat Party. Every election they do this. Every election. In every election, it is the Democrat Party that supports aborticide. Okay? These same black preachers, the black population used to be 20% of this nation 150 years ago. It's now 12%. So how does the black population not grow when every other population is growing? How does that happen? How do you go from 20% of a nation to 12% of a nation? Aborticide. Aborticide. And they say they're the righteous ones. All you Christians, you Republicans, you conservatives, you white people, you all are mean. You all are in favor of the death penalty. And yet, they're in favor of the death penalty for the innocent. We are in favor of the death penalty for the guilty. And they say we're mean, but they are righteous. And so You look at everything that these people stand for. Aborticide of the innocent baby. That's what they support. But they oppose the death penalty for murderers, for cop killers, for rapists, for even terrorists. They oppose this. Never forget that they opposed after 9/11, or the first attack on the Trade Center. They wanted to take these people through the legal system, not treat them as war combatants, so they could just be quickly found guilty and executed. All right? So these are people that consistently, and I'm talking about the Democrat Party, all right? Because you're gonna don't hand me this third party stuff, okay? If you're voting third party, just turn this off and go watch football, okay? If you can't make your mind up in the year 2020, okay, I can see you not being able to make your mind up 20 years ago. But as we get closer and closer, and we're right in the midst of the crisis era, the fourth crisis era in the history of the United States of America. Each one separated by 4 generations. The Revolutionary War, these people would have been with England, not with George Washington and the Patriots. Okay? Big government. The government tells you what your rights are, not God Almighty. Okay? And we have these crisis eras every 4 generations. Americans fighting Americans. 1/3 with England, 1/3 with separation from England, 1/3 didn't care. 4 generations later, Americans are fighting each other again. The Civil War. Okay? And again, issues of freedom or serfdom, freedom or slavery, freedom or servitude, big government or smaller government, overtaxation, undertaxing some, overtaxing others, all kinds of issues. It wasn't black and white, like people like to say. Complicated issues, but issues enough to the point where American fought American. Over 600,000 dead. And again, 4 generations again, where the world is fighting again and again the big issues. Freedom versus servitude. Does big, powerful government have the right just because they have the power? Okay, they have the power, the guns, the infrastructure, the control. But do they have the right according to God Almighty? Well, of course they don't, which is why these movements, they always have the atheists on their side, because they have to deny God. Because if you're going to claim the right, you have to claim it from God. And since they know they can't get that, they just conveniently say, oh, well, there is no God. And so we who believe in God, we become objects of their attack. Okay? And so they've been infiltrating for the last 100 years. They've been infiltrating the seminaries, putting in place evil, wicked pastors over all of these congregations as a way to control the people and as a way to sit in the seat of godly authority. Evil, demonic people desiring to sit in that seat. Okay? And so you got preachers that won't pick a side. You know, these jokers will stand in front of their congregation. Oh, we hope you all go out and vote. I'm not going to tell you who to vote for. Well, why not, Reverend Chickenfoot? Why would you not tell them who to vote for? Would you have told them for whom to vote 2,000 years ago, Reverend Chickenfoot? Well, if in 2020, if Reverend Chickenfoot cannot stand in front of his congregation and tell the people for whom to vote, then 2,000 years ago, Reverend Chickenfoot would not have stood up for Jesus Christ. He would not have done it. And he cannot tell me that he would have done it. Because if he would have done it 2,000 years ago, he would do it in 2020. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the crux of the problem. It's the leadership. It's the leadership. And I don't mean to just pick on black preachers, okay? The preachers with brown skin are not the only ones that are weak, okay? All kinds of preachers are weak. I mean, just look at the state of this nation. And that tells you all you need to know. Here you have, obviously, a family that is a criminal enterprise, obviously, okay? Written documentation. You have bank record transactions in the millions, okay? You have, I mean, this is obvious, okay? And it's not just Hunter Biden. It's Joe Biden. It's Hunter Biden. It's Sarah Biden. It's the brother, James Biden, okay? And there's evidence that all of these people, when they get their cut, they have to share it with Joe. There's evidence of this. And yet still people say, oh, well, Donald Trump is a reprobate. Donald Trump is evil. Donald Trump is this. Donald Trump is that. I would say it's laughable, but it's deadly serious. It's deadly serious. And so no, it's not laughable. It's sad, okay? But it's not just the aborticide issue, although that is such a huge issue, because if you deny a person life, there's no discussion about all these other things. There's no discussion of school choice because the baby didn't get to go to school, okay? There's no discussion of Social Security because the baby didn't get to get old, right? There's no discussion of, oh, Donald Trump stopped all these wars, these needless wars that Americans have been fighting. And he has 3 countries in the Middle East striking peace deals with Israel, okay? There'd be no discussion of that. Why? Because the baby never got out of the womb to join the military and maybe go off and get killed so that Joe Biden's brother, James, could get a $1 billion contract to rebuild. Never forget this. To rebuild 100,000 houses in Iraq. And the man has no experience building any kind of house. A no bid contract for $1 billion to Joe Biden's brother, James Biden. And so when Donald Trump says, oh, we never should have gone into Iraq, you understand why Donald Trump said that. And so it begs the question, did they go into Iraq so that they could destroy houses? Because in order for James Biden to get a $1 billion contract to rebuild, what's necessary for you to have to rebuild 100,000 houses? Someone has to destroy 100,000 houses. And there's no credit given to Donald Trump to say, well, he stopped these wars, saving lives, saving treasure. I ran into a gentleman at Lowe's about 3 days ago when he had his Vietnam veterans cap on. I walked over to him, didn't shake his hand, and gave him a fist bump, okay? And I pointed at his head. I said, sir, give him a little fist tap. Pointed at his head. I just want to thank you for your service, sir. And a black guy, brown skin just like me, okay? Not that is a big deal. I do that all the time. Black, white, Hispanic, doesn't matter. I see a guy, these elders, they don't even have to be elders. I see them all the time. I thank them for their service. Sometimes I might see them in Wawa. I'll offer to buy their coffee. So we struck up a little conversation. He was telling me, oh, yeah, he was in Vietnam. And so I said, well, I hope you're going to vote. Oh, yeah, I'm going to vote, man. Yeah, people died for me to have a right to vote. And then he shared a little bit about, what he went through in Vietnam. And I said, it's really great, the fact that for the last 4 years, no new wars have been started. Were you aware that President Trump has encouraged 3 Middle Eastern countries to make peace deals with Israel? And it doesn't even make the news. Oh, no, I hadn't heard of that. I said, wow, you hadn't heard that at all? I said, yeah, 3 countries. He said, really? I said, yeah. And I said, yeah, just imagine that since there's no new wars and there's peace deals breaking out in the Middle East, how many young people in the military won't go through what you went through in Vietnam? And the guy said, yeah, that kind of makes sense. I said, well, I know one thing. I can't wait till Tuesday because I'm going to be, not only am I going to vote for Trump, I'm going to show up with my Trump hat on. Okay. And this guy said to me, well, I won't be voting for Trump because I don't believe anything that comes out of the man's mouth. And I simply said, well, sir, we're just going to have to agree to disagree. You have a nice day. And so, 2,000 years ago, that guy would have voted for Barabbas. This is a man that can't even think. He's angry over what he went through in Vietnam. Okay? I'm sharing with him. He didn't even ask me for information where he could verify that what I'm telling him is true. He had not heard it. But this is what I run across. So, what we need is we need people in leadership. We need people in leadership to stand and speak the truth. Okay? And see, this man has been listening to false accusers. Let me read you a little bit of the Word of God, and I'm not going to hold you long today, folks. I only have a very few Bible verses to share with you today. You all know where I stand. And this is 2 Timothy chapter 3. Men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, having, listen to this, a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. From such, turn away. That's what I did with the gentleman I met at Lowe's. After he said what he said, he's obviously been listening to false accusers, people that are fierce, people that despise those that are good, people that are heady, high-minded, people that have a form of godliness. A lot of these black churches, they can sing. Ooh, goodness gracious, these people, some of them can sing. And some of these preachers, they can strut and put on a show. I mean, it makes you want to stand up and give the man a standing ovation. Another friend of mine told me he went to a funeral about a week ago, and in the midst of the funeral, in the midst of the minister doing the eulogy, he had to interject into the eulogy his hatred and his disdain for President Trump. So listen again. False accusers, fierce, despisers of those that are good. I mean, we could go on and on and on. And I encourage you to read that entire chapter. I'm not going to go through any more of it. But it boils down to truth, folks. It boils down to truth. All right? And the simple fact of the matter is that these are people that they do not love truth. They don't love truth. Okay? God says if a man will not work, neither shall he eat. Okay? The Democrats, they don't say that. They want to take from the man who does work and give it to the man who will not work. Denying the opportunity for the man who will not work, even to go to the man who has means and have him ask for alms, for have him ask for charity, and have the man with the means to perhaps give charity and also give instruction or advice or encouragement how to take your bed up and walk like Jesus did the man who had, for decades had been lame. And Jesus said, take your bed up and walk. And the man took his bed up and the man walked. Okay? Well, if you're not going to challenge these people or encourage these people, they'll just lay there forever. And so there's a great dynamic and interaction that when you remove charity from the private realm to the public realm, and it's no longer charity, but it's what's called an entitlement. And so there's no contact to help you no longer be in need of charity. It's just a check that comes in the mail, or I think now they have a little card. You don't even have to hobble down to your mailbox anymore. You have a plastic card, and just every month there's money on the card. You just go to the store, and your card looks like the card of the guy that worked hard. It's just not right. It's just not right. And it does not benefit anyone except the people who work in the poverty industry, because poverty grows, and the bureaucracy that manages poverty must necessarily grow. So there's job security for the poverty pimps. There's job security for the pulpit pimps. And so this must end, folks. This must end. But like I said, we're not going to hold you long today. I just want to encourage you. And look, Lord help you if you can't make your mind up this go round, okay? I mean, you've got cop killers, cop lovers, baby killers, baby lovers, okay? People that destroy historical monuments, people that love history and want to learn from history, the good and the bad, okay? People that want to take your taxes and just redistribute 30% of it to the poor while they skim 70% for themselves, and people that want those that earn the money to keep the majority of the money. I mean, this is not rocket science, okay? It is not rocket science, okay? People of hate, people of love, okay? Now, of course, they call us the haters, but, lies are their language. And I think I'll close out with a Bible verse, two Bible verses. I did a program, I think about 2 months ago. And maybe if you have time or the interest, you can go to my YouTube channel and just pull it up. And I think the title of that is, Who's Your Daddy? Okay. As a matter of fact, it was September 11th, because I started out talking about the 500-year history of Muslim attacks on that very same date, September 11th, dating back to the 1500s, 1600s, right on up to today. So I started out with that because it was September 11th. No one in the media did that other than me, by the way. And so then after that, I got into the subject of the two fathers that Jesus talked about. And in the Lord's Prayer, he says, Our Father who art in heaven, because he's among the believers. So he's telling them, this is how you pray. You pray to our Father who art in heaven. But when he's talking to the religious leadership of the day, he did not say to them, we're going to pray to our Father. Okay? And these were like really highly educated, scholarly people that knew religion. They knew the Old Testament forward and backward. Okay? So then they would be the equivalent today of these Reverend Chickenfoot preachers who have doctorate degrees from this place and that place. Okay? Places that the communists infiltrated the seminaries 100 years ago. So the teacher that taught them, the teacher that taught him, and the teacher that taught him. Okay? So you go in generations back, these places have been infiltrated so that they're teaching people a form of godliness without the power of God. So Jesus, in talking to these people, he said, ye are of your father, the devil, and the lusts of your father you shall do. He was a liar from the beginning, and a murderer, and abode not in truth. So when he speaketh a lie, he speaketh his own, for he is the father of lies. And so this is how Jesus talked. And so bold, okay? Not sitting on the fence the way they want Donald Trump to act. Oh, he tweets too much. Oh, he talks too rough. You know, Jesus talked rough. Jesus kicked tables over. Why hadn't Donald Trump kicked over any tables? Maybe he should. Well, he could always pull his big Bible out that they hate. And he could say, well, Jesus did it. Okay. Church gets set on fire. He walks across the street. The church right in front of the White House. Holds a Bible up. So, well, the building got burned. The Bible didn't get burned. He holds it. It's just a photo op. And yet, when Nancy Pelosi washes someone's feet, that's not a photo op. This woman that encourages aborticide, and we think that she's sincere. And when she says, I'm going to pray for the president, we think she's sincere. That's not a photo op. We need to get real, folks. But anyway, I think that's enough for the day. I just want to encourage you all to get out there and vote. And look, I don't even have to encourage. I know outside we are fired up. I'm telling you, we are fired up. We are fired up. But back to my main point when I asked the question, what type of person? What type of person? When you have Jesus, innocent, and you have Barabbas, guilty, okay? What type of person would vote? This was an election. This was 2,000 years ago. And they voted and they said, give us Barabbas. And he said, well, what am I to do with this Jesus? And they said, crucify him. Crucify him. These are the same people that did a fake impeachment against President Trump, knowing full well, whenever they say, oh, he had a phone call to Ukraine, or he had a deal with Russia, or he had this with China, knowing full well that as concerns Russia, as concerns Ukraine, as concerns China, knowing full well, all the Democrat leadership knows it, all the mainstream media knows it. Only these idiots out here that are voting Democrat, 98% of them do not know it. Well, I may be being generous when I say 90%. Honestly, I don't know what the percent is, but I would say it's a safe bet that most do not know. Most do not know. So let me not speak what I don't know. Okay, I don't know what the percent would be, but it will be a very high percent that do not know. Okay, so anyway, it's it is okay. Hold 1 second here. Okay, there we go. So it is it is a situation where our side is really motivated, and this election is going to be, will love conquer hate? And my prayer is that enough of us, and then I'm going to tell you, I love President Trump. I love my country. There are people that hate President Trump, and they hate the way this nation was built to keep controls on people that want to be in rulership. They don't want to govern you. They want to rule you. They hate that. And so these people, they love and admire the former Soviet Union. They love and admire the Chinese system. They love and admire Cuba. They love and admire Venezuela. Even though all of these places, they're all abject failures. They all produce misery. They all produce a lower standard of living. But what they produce that these people do love is they produce a permanent power class. And they want that for America because they see themselves permanently in power. And they see you and me permanently in serfdom. And that is what this election represents. The people of hate, the people of power, the people of the flesh versus the people of love, the people of the spirit. This is big. There's not been an election this big for 2,000 years. 2,000 years. That's the last time there was an election this big. And 2,000 years ago, the people said, give us Barabbas. Look it up and read it for yourself. Anyway, that's it for the day, folks. I just want to send a blessing out to you all, that the Lord would bless you and keep you, that the Lord would make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you, and that the Lord would lift his countenance up upon you and give you peace. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the peace that truly does surpass all understanding. I know we all dealing with situations out there. Don't let it get you down. I send that prayer and that blessing out to you, and I just pray that I know it's my heartfelt words, and I pray that you receive it and allow it to soak into your soul and truly bless you. And so whatever situation you might be dealing with that might discourage you, not just from voting, but discourage you from participating in life in general, I pray that you would see past that and participate in life. Go out and vote. And then after you vote, participate in life, okay? Because after this election is over, life still has to go on, okay? And we still have to rely on the Lord, and we still have to go out and face the world. It's a mean, tough world, okay? And, so anyway, we're going to see you here next week, folks, and I will, in all likelihood, it will not be next week. It'll be during the week, because I'm certain we're going to have a lot to say on election eve, election night, rather, as we wait God bless you out there. And we're going to see you